The series begins on an island where a summer camp for teenagers is held every year, a place meant to help them disconnect from social media and learn how to live in and enjoy nature. A new group of excited teens arrives at the camp, and among them is Mia, the most beautiful girl in the group. Confident, stylish, and sure of herself, she scans the crowd, picking out the boy she plans to spend her time with, pretending to look for cell signal so he'll notice her. The handsome boy, Dave, does notice her and smiles as he walks by. Suddenly, a girl named Kylie comes up to Mia, introducing herself and saying they'll be roommates. Mia follows Kylie to their cabin and picks the bed next to the window. Soon after, another girl named Alex joins them as their third roommate. Mia complains about bugs possibly getting into her hair and decides to tie it up, while Kylie laughs and says she loves her hair so much she brushes it 100 times in the morning and another 100 times at night. Later, they all head outside to meet the rest of the camp. Mags and Dave are the camp leaders who encourage everyone to get to know each other. Suddenly, a stunning girl named Amber shows up, apologizing that her ferry was late. All the boys are immediately mesmerized by her beauty, and Amber instantly steals the spotlight from Mia, who gets upset and storms off. When she returns to her cabin later, she's shocked to find out that Amber has been assigned as their new roommate and has even taken Mia's bed, saying she just hadn't unpacked yet. Mia realizes Amber is trying to provoke her, so she refuses to back down and takes another bed. A little later, Dave and Mags gather everyone to play a game of Capture the Flag. Each team has its own flag, and whoever captures the opponent's flag first wins. Mags names Amber captain of the first team and Mia captain of the second. Since Amber's name starts with A, Mags lets her pick first, and she immediately chooses Dave, clearly noticing his attraction to Mia and wanting to get close to him. Mia, however, doesn't show much concern and continues choosing her own team. The groups head into the woods to search for the flags, but Mia climbs a tree to rest, calling the game silly. Suddenly, Dave shows up, even though he's on the other team, and starts talking to her. Mia is thrilled, and the two of them decide to have their own private party that night in the forest. Later, Mia's team learns that Amber has found her flag, so Mia quickly jumps down, determined not to let Amber beat her. She runs to find the opposing team's flag, reaching the final stretch where she plans to plant it. Amber appears beside her, and the two race to the finish. Mia reaches it first, but suddenly hears Amber scream. She's slipped off a bridge and is about to fall into the water. Mia rushes back to save her, but Amber lets go of Mia's hand in a way that makes everyone believe Mia tried to push her. The whole group turns against Mia and rushes to rescue Amber. After that, everyone starts treating Mia terribly. Upset and humiliated, she goes back to her cabin. That night, she notices Amber sitting on her bed, staring out the window in a strange trance. The next day, Mia walks into the bathroom to shower and is shocked to see Kylie cutting her hair. Mia can't believe it and reminds her how much she used to love her hair. Suddenly, Amber appears behind Kylie and tells Mia that you can't let anything control you, implying that's why Kylie cut it off. Mia realizes Amber has some strange hold over Kylie, who quickly turns from Mia's closest friend into her enemy. Later, the group gathers for lunch, but everyone keeps treating Mia poorly. Wanting to fix her image, she invites Amber to a party that night, but Amber mocks her in front of everyone. Embarrassed, Mia cancels the party and goes back to her room. That night, she notices the entire group is gone, except for Alex, who tells her they're all at a party in the forest. Furious and hurt, Mia decides to go see for herself. When she arrives, she finds everyone celebrating without her and confronts them angrily, since it was her idea in the first place. Amber plays innocent, apologizes in front of the group, and tells Mia they'd actually be happy if she joined them. But Mia, deeply upset, walks away and stands alone in the distance. Amber follows her, telling her the difference between them is that Mia is a coward, while she herself has never been afraid of anything. Standing at the edge of a cliff, that Amber challenges her, saying Mia could never do what she does. Mia pleads with her to come down, terrified, but Amber suddenly throws herself off the cliff right in front of her. Shocked and horrified, Mia runs back toward the group, crying and begging them to help Amber immediately. Suddenly, Amber appears behind her and calmly asks what exactly she needs help with. In front of the whole group, Mia looks completely insane, so she rushes back to Mags and Dave's cabin, begging them to let her call her mother. She manages to reach her mom, but the call drops because of poor reception. Mia pretends to still be on the phone, loudly saying that her aunt will come pick her up by ferry the next day. The following morning, she packs her things and waits for the ferry at its scheduled time, but it's delayed for hours. Frustrated, she returns to her room and later goes to Mags, where she spots an expensive ring on the table. Pretending to cry over Amber, Mia secretly steals the ring. Wanting to fix the tension between the girls, Mags arranges a private meeting for them, and both Mia and Amber fake a reconciliation. Later, Dave and Mags organize a forest hike, but Mia decides to stay behind, claiming she has heat stroke. To her surprise, Amber also skips the trip, and they end up talking. When Mia goes back to her room, she hides the stolen ring under Amber's pillow to frame her. But Amber suddenly walks in, forcing Mia to quickly conceal it again. Pretending to look for something, Mia is caught off guard when Amber approaches and tells her she knows she's empty inside because her father abandoned her as a child and her mother can't even stand to be around her, sending her away to every camp she can find. Amber insists that Mia's mother hates her. Mia is devastated, breaks down in tears, and Amber hugs her, saying she'll help her. While holding her, Mia slips the ring into Amber's pocket to continue her act. Meanwhile, out in the forest, Harry and Alex notice something strange among the trees, marks that look like the claws of a wild animal. Suddenly, eerie noises echo all around them, and they try to escape, but Dave and the rest of the group appear, and the noises stop instantly. When they return to camp, Mags discovers her ring is missing and accuses both Mia and Amber, demanding a search. She finds the ring in Amber's pocket, but Amber looks her straight in the eye and calmly says she borrowed it because it looked good on her hand. Mags stares into Amber's eyes, dazed, and then agrees, saying she must have forgotten she'd lent it to her before walking away. Mia is stunned, unable to understand why Mags would cover for Amber. She confides in Alex, admitting she was the one who stole the ring and saying she doesn't know why Mags is protecting Amber. But Alex barely listens. She's too preoccupied with the strange creature in the woods. Later, Mags sits in her room, staring at her ring. A photo frame falls off the wall, revealing an older photo behind it, one showing the same group of teens at the same camp, with Mia wearing the crown as Queen of the Camp, standing next to Dave as her boyfriend. The next day, a new ceremony is held to crown the new Queen of the Camp, who will also get to choose her king. Mia decides not to compete with Amber directly, and instead convinces another beautiful girl named Sandra to run against her. Mia promises to help her win, persuading the others to vote for Sandra and helping her dress beautifully for the event. But when Amber arrives wearing a stunning dress, everyone is captivated by her. Determined to win people over, Sandra bakes sweets to hand out to the group to earn their votes. Amber, clearly annoyed, walks over to the food table, places a strange-looking cup there, then approaches Sandra, touches her hand, and whispers that the food has gone bad and she shouldn't eat it. Sandra glances down and sees her plate crawling with worms. Horrified, she runs to warn everyone not to eat, but she's the only one who sees them, making her look completely delusional. Devastated, Sandra isolates herself, and Mia tries to comfort her, encouraging her to enjoy the party even if she doesn't win. Soon after, the results are announced. Amber wins the crown. Now, she gets to choose the king, and Mia knows she'll pick Dave. Determined not to lose him, Mia decides to get closer to him again. Meanwhile, Alex is walking alone in the forest, examining the claw marks, when she meets a girl named Petal, who's collecting flowers. The two quickly become friends and discuss how the large rock nearby could have split in half. While exploring together, they discover a strange walled area on the other side of the island, but can't find any entrance. On the wall, they spot a bizarre symbol of a horned animal. Unable to understand its meaning, they decide to head back for the party. Back at camp, Mia and Dave take a walk in the woods, talking and showing their mutual attraction, until Mia brings up Amber. Dave realizes she deliberately led him away so Amber wouldn't pick him as king, and he gets upset, ready to leave. But Mia confesses she genuinely liked him from the start and wasn't trying to manipulate him. At the same time, Amber notices Dave is missing and starts looking for him everywhere. Sandra, sitting alone and upset over losing, is approached by Amber, who encourages her to enjoy herself. Suddenly, a popular song starts playing, and everyone joins in happily. Harry asks Sandra to dance, but she refuses, still angry, then tells herself she loves this song and decides to dance anyway, finally smiling and enjoying herself. Soon after, Amber realizes Mia is gone too and figures out she must be with Dave. She asks Sandra if she's seen them, and Sandra, without thinking, mentions they're in the woods, then instantly regrets it. Amber storms into the forest and spots Mia and Dave walking together, filled with jealousy. Dave and Mia agree to meet the next day at the bridge before returning to the party. Meanwhile, Kylie sits with Zach, the guy she likes, but he pulls away, hoping to win the king title. Annoyed, she decides to make him jealous by asking his friend Brendan to dance. When Dave arrives back at the party, he notices Zach glaring at Kylie and Brendan dancing and tries to cheer him up. Everyone is having fun, except Alex, who hates parties. Petal tries to pull her onto the dance floor, but Alex refuses, so Petal snaps at her, calling her boring. Meanwhile, Amber sits on the throne, visibly upset, staring at the campfire as the flames suddenly grow higher, reflecting in her eyes. She looks over and sees Zach stand up and punch Brendan, shouting that Kylie belongs to him. No one else in the group pays any attention to the fight. They all seem dazed, as if completely out of it. Then, out of nowhere, Sandra suddenly kisses Harry, even though she already has a boyfriend. Everyone laughs and mocks her, and Sandra, shocked by what she's done, feels deeply embarrassed and runs off to be alone. Amber follows her, pretending to comfort her, but quietly tells her that everyone, even Mia, her supposed friend, made fun of her, and that she can take her pain away and make sure no one ever hurts her again, but only if she stays with her. Sandra agrees without hesitation, her expression empty, as if Amber has taken control of her mind, just like she did with Mags. The party finally ends after Amber announces she won't be choosing a king. The next morning, the group wakes up to Mags and Dave scolding them for their behavior the previous night, and as punishment, they're all told to clean up the mess they made. Meanwhile, Mia waits for her meeting with Dave and tells Sandra about what happened between them the night before. Sandra keeps asking strange questions about the time, the place, and the details of the meeting, behaving oddly the entire time. Elsewhere, Petal tries to apologize to Alex for how she treated her, admitting she doesn't know why she said those things and that she actually admires Alex's personality. But Alex refuses to forgive her and walks away, leaving her alone. When it's time for Mia's meeting with Dave, she goes to the bridge first. Amber sees Dave leaving camp and realizes he's going to meet Mia. She grabs a small stick and begins swirling it in slow circular motions. Deep in the forest, Dave suddenly feels disoriented, trapped among the trees, unable to find his way, as if something invisible is keeping him lost. Mia grows anxious from waiting too long, standing sadly on the bridge when she notices something scribbled on the wall. "I hate Mia." Shocked, she wonders who could hate her that much. Suddenly, Amber appears with Sandra and Kylie surrounding her. They tell Mia that Dave isn't coming and that she should just forget about him. Mia insists he'll show up, but Amber steps closer and warns her that her pride will be her downfall, a veiled threat that she intends to end her life. Terrified, Mia runs off the bridge and into the woods, trembling. She hears someone crying and follows the sound until she trips and falls to the ground. A hand suddenly bursts from the dirt, grabbing her, and behind her appears a strange young man holding a bow, warning her to stay silent. Meanwhile, Dave reaches a fallen tree trunk with the initials M and D carved into it beside the word love. He touches the carving, and a flood of distorted memories flashes before his eyes. Moments of him and Mia together, as if they'd been in this exact place before, in love. Back in the woods, Mia cautiously asks the stranger his name. He says it's Luca and warns her never to tell anyone she saw him, for her own good. As he moves, she notices his arm is bandaged and realizes he's injured. She accuses him of stealing the first aid kit from camp, and Luca snaps, saying she talks too much, maybe enough to make him want to get rid of her. Mia panics, but Luca smirks and tells her he's only joking. He offers her a deal. If she brings him more medical supplies and some food, he'll give her back her lost phone and tell her where to find the only area on the island with cell service. Mia agrees, and they arrange to meet at 5. Before she leaves, she asks why he's on the island, and he simply says he loves nature. She returns to camp just as Dave is frantically searching for her. Amber sees him, and her jealousy burns. Mia sneaks into camp unseen, steals the medical kit, and stuffs everything into her bag. Suddenly, Dave walks in, apologizing for missing their meeting. He got lost in the woods and asks her to come with him somewhere special. Mia says she can't right now and asks to meet later, but Dave insists, taking her to the tree trunk with the carved initials. Mia is stunned when she sees it. She tells him she didn't write it, and Dave says he feels like they've been there together before. Mia laughs and tells him maybe it means they were destined to meet. They grow closer and share an intimate moment. Later, they decide to head back, but Mia asks him to return alone so people don't gossip, and he agrees. Then, she heads to meet Luca, gives him the first aid kit, and takes her phone. When she asks where the cell signal area is, Luca coldly refuses to tell her, saying she was late and leaves her behind. Back at camp, Dave and Mags organize a new activity, repainting the main cabin so everyone can leave their mark on the island. The group gets excited and begins painting. Petal notices Alex standing alone and tries again to talk to her, so they walk together. Suddenly, they hear the sound of a girl crying and follow it to an old abandoned cabin near camp. Inside, the crying grows louder until they see what looks like a body under a bedsheet. Alex pulls it off quickly, but there's nothing there. The two realize the island might actually be haunted. Later, Mia returns to camp and learns everyone was painting their cabins, so she marks Amber's wall just to annoy her. When she goes to eat, Amber confronts her, saying she knows what she's doing, that Mia only stole Dave to upset her. Mia snaps back, saying she truly has feelings for Dave and he feels the same, and that if he'd ever liked Amber, he'd be with her. But he isn't, because Amber isn't even real and no one could ever love her. Mia heads inside aside to grab her jacket, but Amber follows and asks if Mia really hates her that much. Confused, Mia says she doesn't hate her. She doesn't even think about her. Amber suddenly breaks down crying, asking why Mia ruined her dress. Mia turns around and freezes. Amber's dress is hanging up, covered in red paint, with a pig's head placed on top. Shocked, Mia backs away as the rest of the group walks in, demanding to know why she did it. Mia tries to defend herself, but finds her hands covered in red paint, making her look undeniably guilty. Amber now stands in the middle of the scene as everything around her becomes hazy and distorted. Everyone's voices blur together while she tells Mia that no one will ever hear or see her the way she does, because Amber controls what they see and what they hear. Then Amber dumps a full bucket of red paint over herself. In an instant, the world returns to normal clarity, as if nothing had happened, leaving everyone believing Mia attacked her. Mia screams in horror, unable to understand what's happening, and runs into the woods, calling out for Luca. He appears, telling her to stop yelling, or she'll give away their location. Desperate, Mia begs him to take her to the place with a cell signal so she can call her family. Luca reluctantly agrees, leads her there, then warns her never to call for him again because he's not as kind as she thinks, before disappearing into the trees. Mia turns on her phone. The signal finally appears. She calls her mother, but there's no answer. Then she tries her father, still no answer. Finally, she calls her friend Layla, asking her to check for any ferry routes to the island. Layla is shocked, telling her the island was shut down last year after a tragic accident. A girl from the camp had died there. Mia begs for the victim's name, but the call drops before she can hear it. Still, Mia is certain now. It must have been Amber. She returns to camp, shaken, and confesses to Dave and Mags that she was the one who ruined Amber's dress, hoping they'll punish her and send her home. But Mags tells her they can't let her leave yet. They need to correct her behavior first, and she won't be allowed to go home without facing her punishment. Mia feels completely devastated and decides not to return to her room that night, choosing instead to sleep in the forest. While wandering through the trees, she comes across the same abandoned cabin Alex and Petal had discovered earlier and decides to spend the night there. The next morning, the group prepares to go mountain climbing with Dave while Mags stays behind at camp. Alex pretends to be sick so she can continue investigating the cabin, and the rest of the group sets off with Dave. Amber is thrilled to have Dave around and keeps trying to get closer to him, while Dave still feels hurt by what Mia supposedly did, believing she lied to him and was only playing games. Inside the old cabin, Mia wakes up to the sound of someone trying to open the door. It's Alex. Mia tells her that she truly didn't do anything to Amber, that Amber did it to herself. Alex says she believes her because Mia doesn't seem like the type who'd ruin a dress. She prefers a different kind of trouble. Mia thanks her for believing her, even if no one else does. Alex then tells her about the ghost she saw with Petal, and Mia insists it must be Amber's spirit seeking revenge. Suddenly, the cabin door slams shut, trapping them inside. They shout for help, but no one hears them, so they start searching for another way out. Mia explains what her friend Layla found online, that a girl from last year's camp had died on the island, and she's convinced the ghost must be that same girl, Amber, whose behavior has always been strange. Just then, Mia's phone turns on by itself, displaying the file Layla sent her. They open it and see a picture of the dead girl, but it's not Amber. Her name is Midge. Mia realizes she's seen that name before and rummages through the cabin's old papers until she finds Midge written on one of them. Suddenly, the door creaks open, and both girls feel a cold chill. They start to suspect that Midge's spirit is trying to lead them to the truth. Mia guesses that Amber was the one who killed Midge, and that's why the ghost is trying to contact them. Meanwhile, back on the island, Amber notices that Dave is ignoring her. To get his attention, she pretends to twist her ankle, forcing him to help her back to camp. On the way, they talk about Mia. Amber tells him she knows Mia hurt him and that she's there to help him move on, gently touching his hand. But Dave pulls away, saying he's realized she's fake and that he hates fake people. Elsewhere, Harry admits he's afraid of heights and decides to return to camp alone. On his way back, he suddenly spots a drone hovering above him, watching him. Confused, he stares at it for a moment, but then shrugs it off. Back at camp, Dave and Amber arrive, and Mia, seeing them together, feels crushed. Later that night, she sneaks into the camp to call her mother. Just before her mom answers, Amber appears behind her and eerily says, "It's time to go home." Suddenly, Mia finds herself back in her own house, completely disoriented. Her mother asks her about Midge, saying she's been looking for her, and then her father appears, asking the same question. Mia says Midge died last year. In an instant, she's back on the island again, as if everything that happened was just an illusion. She wakes up trembling to find herself standing before Amber, who's holding the phone and crying. Mags sees them and immediately pulls Mia away from the group. "I isolating her in a cabin. Later, Alex comes to see her and asks what happened. Mia tells her Amber found out they were investigating Midge and is now trying to stop them, meaning they may never escape the island. Amber is ready to destroy everyone just to keep her secret buried. Alex confronts Mags, asking about Midge, the girl who was there last year, but Mags insists this is her first year at the camp and claims she doesn't know anything about last year's events. When Mags returns to her cabin, she discovers that Amber's red-stained dress has vanished. There's no trace of it anywhere. She's confused and begins to wonder if she's dreaming. Meanwhile, Amber decides to throw a private party in her cabin to get closer to Dave, but refuses to let Brendan in to avoid tension with Kylie. Upset, Brendan runs off into the woods, where he spots Dave's watch lying in the water. He picks it up and brings it back, confused since Dave swears he never lost it. Dave recognizes it by his engraved full name, and tension instantly flashes across Amber's face before she quickly excuses herself to follow Dave outside. Around the same time, Alex approaches Dave and asks about Midge, but he says he doesn't remember her. When Alex leaves, Amber pulls Dave aside to talk privately. She reminds him of how he once blamed himself for what happened to Midge, that he was supposed to protect everyone but failed. Dave breaks down, tears filling his eyes, and Amber tells him she can help him forget. She convinces him to give her his necklace, a personal keepsake, as a sign of letting go. Alex secretly watches the entire exchange from a distance. When Amber notices her, she tries to control her too, whispering for her to forget everything she just saw, and Alex, dazed, turns and walks away. Later, Dave returns to the cabin with Mags, acting strangely distant and emotionless. Alex rushes to Mia's cabin and tells her she believes her now, that Amber really did kill Midge and is manipulating the entire group to cover it up. It turns out Amber has completely taken control of Dave and even tried to control Alex too. Mia and Alex start thinking about why Amber would have wanted to kill Midge, and they conclude that Midge must have discovered a way to stop her. If that's true, then they have to find that same method before it's too late. They decide to search through the old papers stored in the main cabin, hoping to find something that reveals what Midge uncovered. But when they get there, they're horrified to see Dave burning all the papers, clearly under Amber's influence and no longer acting like himself. A short while later, Mags gathers the entire group and tells them to draw a detailed map of the island, splitting everyone into teams of 3. Mia, Alex, and Harry end up together. As they talk in code, so Harry doesn't understand what they're planning, he jumps into the conversation anyway, telling them about the drone he saw in the woods. He sketches it for them, and Alex immediately recognizes the same strange symbol she saw on the mysterious wall earlier. The 3 decide to head there to investigate and eventually find an entrance hidden under a pile of leaves. It leads down a staircase into an underground facility. Inside, they discover an old science lab, once used for studying the island's soil and plant life. They begin searching for anything connected to Amber. Meanwhile, Amber tells Kylie to leave her alone with Dave so she can get closer to him. But Dave, still shaken after Brendan returned his missing watch, a gift from his father, is confused and unsettled. He doesn't even remember bringing the watch to the island. Amber walks with him to the beach where Brendan found it, and suddenly, Dave starts having fragmented flashbacks of himself and Mia spending time there together, laughing and happy. He tells Amber about these memories, and her face goes pale. He wasn't supposed to remember. She takes the watch from his hand and hypnotically controls him, erasing the memory from his mind again. Out in the woods, Kylie is wandering alone when she stumbles upon the same underground lab where Mia and Alex are still searching. She overhears them talking about how Amber controls everyone, panics, and runs off to warn her. Before leaving, she locks them inside. On her way back, she trips over a tree branch and falls, hitting her head. Dazed, she hears someone calling her. It's Zach, who's been looking for her. As he helps her up, she suddenly starts having the same flashbacks Dave had. Memories of her and Zach and the others together on this island before. She insists they've all been here before, that they were friends and part of the same group last year. Zach doesn't believe her and thinks she's confused from the fall. Realizing she locked Mia, Alex, and Harry in, Kylie runs back to free them, telling them about her returning memories of the previous year's camp. None of them believe her, assuming Amber has possessed her and is using her as bait to make them reveal what they know about Midge. They demand proof, since none of them remember ever being on the island before. Kylie remembers a group photo they took together in the main cabin and shows it to them. There they are, all smiling with Midge among them. Everyone is shocked, as no one remembers the photo being taken, but Kylie swears swears it's real and explains that Midge had no friends and was always alone. She tells them Midge fell from a cliff in an accident, but the others are convinced Amber pushed her and covered it up to look like an accident. That would explain why she's erasing their memories, to hide her crime. They ask Kylie to get close to Amber again and try to learn the truth about what happened last year. Terrified, Kylie doesn't want to, afraid Amber will take over her mind completely and turn her into one of her lifeless followers. She sits alone, trembling, until Zach finds her and tries to comfort her. Quietly, she slips the photo into his pocket, telling him to keep it safe and remember her in case something happens. Then she returns to Amber, who immediately grows suspicious. Kylie's behavior is different, too